Sound familiar? You and your friends get together on Discord over the weekend, you've got all the free time in the world, but you have absolutely no clue what to play. Cue the endless arguments, your old favorites are played out, and everyone wants a break from competitive shooters. If that hits close to home, you've come to the right place. Today, I've put together a list of fresh isometric co-op games that are perfect to jump into with your crew. And the best part? No empty developer promises and no delays to next year. Every single game on this list is out and playable right now. Let's go. Let's start with 33 Immortals. In this game, you and 32 other players team up to start a massive rebellion in the depths of hell. It puts you in the shoes of damned souls who are sick of roasting in cauldrons. You're putting God's judgment to the test, fighting your way through hordes of angels and bosses. Just imagine the scale. A crowd of 30+ players all casting spells, swinging swords, and trying to survive at the exact same time. It looks epic. But don't think you can just blend into the crowd and let everyone else do the heavy lifting. This is a co-op roguelike where teamwork is absolutely everything. Enemies hit incredibly hard, and if anyone in your group goes down, everyone gets weaker. You'll constantly need to share healing potions, combo your attacks, and collect powerful relics based on human sins and virtues. Every single run features uniquely generated enemies and loot, so you'll have to experiment with builds and adapt on the fly. Shape of Dreams. This is an action roguelike where you literally travel through other people's dreams. The big twist here is that you can edit the hero's memories, shaping them into unstoppable champions. We invade the minds of people going through various life dramas or battles and try to bring some order to the chaos. This game is at its absolute best in 3-player co-op. You and your friends can choose from 8 unique travelers and explore different worlds, each with its own bosses. The combat is super fast-paced and demands quick reflexes, and your arsenal of skills is constantly changing. You have over 150 different memories and essences at your disposal. Mix and match them however you want to create truly devastating builds. And the coolest thing is that right in the middle of a run, you can edit the dream itself, tweaking the difficulty or taking the battle in a completely new direction. Dragonkin, the Banished. The world of this game is corrupted by dragon blood. You gather a squad of up to 4 players and set out to rip monsters apart to save humanity. You get to choose from some very colorful characters, from knights and oracles to mutants who are half dragon, half monster themselves. Your main goal is to hunt down the mighty dragon lord and take him out. The gameplay here revolves around constant leveling up. You'll be clearing out different locations, harvesting elemental powers from elite monsters. You can combo all of these abilities in co-op, creating a total fireworks show of special effects on your screen. And between bloody raids, your squad heads back to a city hidden in the mountains. This is your safe haven, and it will grow and change based on your actions, unlocking new merchants and upgrades. Tinkerlands. This is a sandbox survival game where you and 3 of your friends find yourselves on a mysterious archipelago. At first glance, everything looks pretty cute, but don't lower your guard. These islands are packed to the brim with vicious monsters that love to swarm you in massive groups. Your job is to explore the land, gather resources, solve puzzles, and try not to die in your very first fight. It's a classic but exceptionally well-made survival sim. The real fun begins when you lay down the foundation for your first town. Your base will gradually grow from a tiny camp into a bustling settlement. You'll build houses to attract useful NPCs like alchemists, blacksmiths, and merchants who will make your life a whole lot easier. And there's a reason for all of this, because as you progress, you'll have to track down and destroy 10 bosses. It's a great co-op grind fest that's incredibly hard to put down. Core Keeper. This is an awesome mix of a farming sandbox, a mining sim, and an action game where you're trapped deep underground. The game supports co-op for up to 8 players, so there's plenty of room for everyone. Your team starts out in a tiny cave, but bit by bit, you'll dig out a giant network of tunnels, set up a massive base, start growing radishes in your garden, and even build automated production lines. Combat and resource gathering go hand in hand here. Monsters will regularly test your base's defenses, so you won't just be sitting around. Even better, you'll have to go out on expeditions yourself to hunt down massive bosses, because they're the only ones that drop the loot you need to progress. It's the perfect game for a long co-op playthrough where everyone can definitely find something they love doing. Torchlight Infinite. This is a classic isometric action RPG that's all about endless hordes of enemies, tons of colorful loot, and fast-paced combat. You pick one of the unique heroes, each with their own story and playstyle, and set off to clear out dangerous locations. The developers focused heavily on speed and freedom, so there are basically no stamina limits or cooldowns here, just pure, non-stop action and a ton of visual effects. But things get really exciting when you drop into the game with your friends. The game features an absolutely insane skill customization system. You can combine talents, alter spell properties, and cook up totally wild builds that perfectly complement your team. One player can pull mobs into a single spot while another rains down fire on them. And thanks to the seasonal system, the game is constantly getting new mechanics, bosses, and gear. Ravenswatch. Imagine your favorite childhood fairy tales turned into a dark, bloody nightmare. That's exactly the kind of vibe Ravenswatch brings to the table. It's a stylish co-op roguelike where you have to save the world from an all-consuming darkness. The main heroes here are straight out of world folklore and legends, but with a super gritty, badass twist. For example, you've got little Red Riding Hood, who can literally transform into a bloodthirsty werewolf or a brutal, battle-hardened Beowulf. Teamwork here isn't just a buzzword, it's a matter of survival, especially during boss fights where one wrong move can get a careless player instantly one-shot. Every hero has a clear, defined role. While one player drops protective barriers and tanks damage, another is freezing the crowd or raining down devastating area of effect damage. All the XP you earn in battle goes toward upgrading your skills and buying perks. Sworn. In the co-op action game Sworn, the famous Knights of the Round Table have completely lost their minds, fallen under a dark curse, and turned Camelot into a literal living hell. It's up to you and your friends to stand up and challenge the maddened king. You start the game as a pretty clumsy knight with just a basic sword, but as you progress, meet new characters, and master their techniques, you'll transform into an absolute killing machine. In up to 4-player co-op, you're not just swinging swords. You also have to make smart use of blessings from powerful fae. The game features over 200 different magical effects and perks. You can combine elements, buff each other's attacks, and trigger massive combo chains that will send Arthur's minions flying in every direction. The Last Plague. This one is a hardcore isometric survival sim. The world has been wiped out by a horrific epidemic, and your group is among the lucky few who managed to survive. There's no magic or superpowers here, just you against brutal, unforgiving nature. You'll have to build your life back up completely from scratch, setting up camp, foraging for berries, hunting, and most importantly, boiling your water so you don't catch the blight. The game tracks a ton of variables, so you'll need to manage not just hunger, but also morale, exhaustion, and body temperature. You can survive in a squad of up to 4 players, and dividing up responsibilities is everything here. Your ultimate goal isn't just to build a cozy little cabin in the woods. It's to explore a dangerous open world in search of mysterious druids who hold the recipe for a vaccine. It's a very atmospheric, slow-burning, and tactical game that will test your survival skills and your friendship. Endless Dungeon. This is a tactical roguelike set in a well-known sci-fi universe. Your squad crash lands on an ancient, long-abandoned space station that is absolutely crawling with mutants, robots, and giant bugs. To get out alive, you need to escort your crystal bot through all the station sectors. The gameplay is a chaotic mix of twin-stick shooter and tower defense. You kick open doors, hoard resources, set up turrets, and dig in for a fight. The second you order the crystal to move to the next room, all hell breaks loose. Playing in a squad means you constantly have to watch each other's backs and protect your precious crystal. If the monsters get to it and smash it, the run is over. The heroes compact with unique weapons and skills. One player can drop shields, another heals, and a third can turn corridors into a meat grinder with a heavy machine gun. The tension cranks up with every single door you open because you never know what's waiting on the other side. Welcome to ParadiZe. Picture your classic zombie apocalypse survival game, but with a hilarious twist. Here, you don't just shoot the walking dead, you hack their brains. You can slap a special control helmet on any zombie, and boom, they're your personal servant. These undead helpers will carry your heavy loot, harvest resources, and guard the perimeter of your base. In up to 4-player co-op, this game turns into an absolute circus. Together, you build up your camp, lay down traps, plant gardens, and force a whole army of zombies to do the chores. There's plenty of work to go around. You'll explore the world, knock out quests, and fight massive mutants. But keep your guard up, because technology glitches, and those helmets can break at any moment, turning your obedient gardeners right back into bloodthirsty monsters in the middle of your base. Romestead. This is a unique blend of an action RPG and a city builder. A mysterious cataclysm has turned proud Roman citizens into hordes of terrifying night monsters, and now it's up to you and your friends to rebuild civilization from the ground up. You'll explore the ruins of the Empire, rescue survivors, and bring them back to your new city. The cool mechanic here is that you can assign a job to every citizen. The bigger your settlement gets, the more you can automate the entire process. But building a city is only half the battle. As soon as night falls, the game goes into full-on action mode. You and your crew will need to gear up in your best armor and fight off waves of monsters. The combat has a ton of depth, with loads of gear and amulets to experiment with. On top of that, you'll need to pledge yourself to new gods, make offerings to them, unlock powerful buffs, and they'll give you the edge you need to take down bosses in deep dungeons. Hammerwatch II. The sequel throws you right into the deep end. The kingdom has been overrun by a dragon army, and you and your friends are starting a resistance from scratch. It's an old-school, incredibly fast-paced hack-and-slash where stuff is constantly exploding on screen, while hordes of undead, mutants, and bosses swarm your position. In 4-player co-op, you'll build a classic party. The paladin tanks, the ranger and rogue dish out ranged damage, and the warlock and wizard rain down area of effect magic. The game features an awesome progression system, tons of loot, and the ability to craft weapons, potions, and food between fights. But the absolute best news for fans is the full support for user mods. Once you beat the main story, you can download new custom levels or entire game modes created by the community, giving this project practically infinite replay value. Sacred 2 Remaster. Time for a heavy dose of nostalgia. The remaster brings back that legendary action RPG in a fresh, modern coat of paint, with all released DLCs packed right in. The world is being torn apart once again by unstable energy, triggering total chaos, mutations, and conflicts. It's a massive, completely seamless fantasy world waiting for you with hundreds of hours of quests, unique mounts to ride, and deep dungeons to clear of ancient monsters. And it all comes with modernized combat and looting mechanics. You can run through the massive story campaign with a squad of 4, and the enemy difficulty scales dynamically to match your group so things never get boring. Want a break from the campaign? Welcome to survival mode or the PvP arena. And if that's still not enough, the free play mode lets up to 16 players pile onto a single server. You can team up for massive raids to tackle the hardest endgame dungeons, or just jump into a chaotic free-for-all against each other. Whisper Mountain Outbreak. This is a co-op survival horror game that completely nails the vibe of classic 1990s scary movies. You and your friends step into the boots of regular old miners who find themselves trapped at the top of a cursed mountain. A sinister fog is rolling in, maddening whispers echo from the dark, and creepy monsters are crawling into the light. You'll have to start your escape attempt completely empty-handed. You'll literally be fending off the first waves of monsters with basic sticks. But the deeper you explore the abandoned mines, the more junk you'll find to scavenge. In up to 4-player co-op, this game becomes an incredibly tense survival puzzle. Before each run, everyone picks one of 6 classes, each with its own unique perks and bonuses, so you can build a perfectly balanced crew. You won't just be mindlessly swinging axes either. You'll have to work together to solve puzzles, hunt down keys for locked doors, and figure out the best way to burn out monster nests. Stolen Realm. This one is an absolute goldmine for fans of turn-based tactics. The plot revolves around a pretty wild problem. Literal chunks of the world have been stolen. Pieces of forests, towns, and mines have just vanished into thin air. Your squad has to venture into enchanted lands, master ancient magic, and snap these missing pieces of reality back into place. It sounds epic, but at its core, it's a hardcore strategy game where you really have to think ahead, plan your moves, and build up your own magical hub between runs. The best feature of the co-op here, which supports up to 6 players, is the simultaneous turn system. You don't have to sit around for 10 minutes waiting for 5 of your friends to manage their inventory or decide where to move. Everyone acts at the exact same time, which keeps the turn-based combat fast and engaging. Plus, the class system lets you unleash your inner wizard. There are no rigid boundaries. You can easily build a fire-wielding rogue or a necromancer knight by mixing and matching skills from completely different trees. Displaced. This is a completely unique take on the open-world survival genre. Picture a classic, gritty dark fantasy setting where the continent is overrun by dark forces, but with one crazy twist: items from our modern world are randomly showing up there. The terrified locals think they're magical artifacts, but you're putting them to work. You'll explore a massive world, help out surviving NPCs, and build fortified outposts. The game is perfectly tailored for a cozy, laid-back co-op experience for 2 players. You and your partner can easily divide and conquer. The combat is incredibly versatile too. You can go old school and tank with a sword and shield, pick monsters off from afar with a bow, or when things get really hectic, pull out landmines and modern firearms to give those dark entities a taste of the apocalypse. Titan Quest II. If you played the original game until your fingers bled back in the day, then the sequel belongs at the very top of your co-op wishlist. We're heading back to the breathtaking world of ancient myths, but this time, Nemesis, the goddess of retribution, has completely lost it. You'll have to sail across beautiful islands, delve into ancient temples, and shred classic mythological beasts by the dozen. Everything from satyrs and centaurs to griffins and sirens. The classic action RPG formula reaches its full potential in 4-player co-op. You create your character and set off on a massive, epic adventure where a basic spear can eventually be upgraded into a glowing artifact fit for the gods. The build system is super flexible, letting you mix different modifiers, skills, and gear to create a fighter that plays exactly how you want. And when your whole squad charges into a mob of monsters, unleashing godly powers while riding mythic mounts, it's pure magic on screen. Alright, so what do you think of the list? I'm willing to bet at least a couple of these games just made it onto your wishlist. Honestly, the isometric view is just perfect for co-op. Drop a comment below and let me know which game you and your friends are going to test out first. Also, if you've stumbled across any other hidden gems in this genre lately, definitely share them. I'd love to check them out. If this video helped you figure out what to play tonight, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future roundups. Get your best squad together, play nice, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a nice day.